Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another custom turret, and this thing sitting right behind me is called the Concussion Assault Battery, which is currently bombarding the good old albatross sitting in the distance. So what this is a lovely platform that contains a small block turret that features 8 assault cannons to blast your enemies with. The assault cannons are using the salvo script, so they fire one at a time, and there is a short delay between each volley. Now you can see it firing in the background. Pressing F10 and finding this in the spawn menu, the Concussion Assault Battery is 494 large blocks, using the Delta Block number 2 Heavy Infantry Warfare 2, Wasteland and Spark to the Future DLC packs. We've only got a little bit of information about it on the Steam Workshop page, where it says the gun is capable of firing 8 shots in quick succession thanks to the help of the salvo script. So I'm going to give this thing a thumbs up, which I already have, with a quick look around the base first of all, then a quick look at the turret, and then we'll go and visit the albatross to see the damage dealt. So when you spawn in, you get this lovely platform because this is a manual fire gun by default. If you want it to be AI enabled like it is right now, you will need to go into the weapon controller and switch that on. Yes, we get this big platform, a seat at the back, programmable block and a rotor in the middle for a small block turret on top. Going around the outside, this is all we get, so we get grey steel blocks with some railings going all the way around it. Make sure you don't accidentally fall off. If it was to drop down and come underneath it, we can see how it's all been set up. So in the middle there, we can clearly see where our rotor is for our turret. There is our programmable block with the salvo script currently active on it. And there's our stairs to get all the way up. When we come up to it, we can access the back of that programmable block, so if it ever took damage, you can easily repair that. And of course, our seat here does have a few controls, such as manual control, and of course, to view the camera of where it's shooting. For the turret itself, we come around towards the very front. We got, like I said, 8 assault cannons to blast your enemies with. We've got a camera right in the middle to help aim this thing. We've got a remote control block, got some great use of our neon tubes at the back and the front, as well as a little bit of interior light in the red near the camera and the light blue near the remote control block. If we were to move around onto the side, this is what we get. So we've got some great use of our barred window blocks, some great use of our beam blocks, and some great use of our rounded and camouflage skin grey blocks. Coming around towards the back, some more great use of our neon tubes, more great use of our beam blocks. Moving all the way up and looking down, we can see how it's all been put together. If we was to bring the camera over near the camera, we can see our hinge to allow it to move up and down, and that's semi-protected by these steel blocks right in front of it. So if you were to take shots from the front, hopefully this will delay it enough to be able to shoot them down before they disable this turret. And of course, just moving the camera all the way inside, that's what we get. So there's a very clear view at our hinge, and we can see the room at the back here to allow it to move up and down. Just dropping down and over to this section, there's our custom weapon controller. We can see our conveyance linked to our hinge that goes all the way down to our rotor at the bottom. And I think it's time to actually play this thing around and see what it can do. So grabbing hold of my character, what I'm going to do is come over to the seat at the back, and these are the only controls we get. So like I said, it's a camera to view where it's shooting. There we go. And then of course we've got number 1 for manual control. We've got a fantastic view all the way around this so we can clearly see what's going on, and I think the ship is trying to escape. But yes, the turret, we can move this a full 360 all the way around us, with the only downside being moving it up and down. We are severely limited by that, so if an enemy is above you, you're going to be in a bit of a pickle, unless of course you've got another turret to deal with that. So before this gets out of range, what I'm going to do is start blasting this, and we'll see what kind of damage we can deal. So we're going to fire all 8 of them together, they fire one at a time. And that, when the smoke clears, is the damage we deal to some light steel blocks. I'm going to fire it into this section over here. There we go. Once that all clears up, it's a nice lot of damage. As for the overall rate of fire, I'm now just going to hold down the mouse button. So there's all 8. I'm still holding down the mouse. And there we go. So there is quite a big delay. And I think that was the hydrogen tank exploding. Yes, it was. I think that's now coming down to the ground. And let's try and finish off that other tank before I continue what I was saying. And there we go, that's a nice explosion coming off that. But yes, as I was saying, the delay between volleys is quite long, but that is good for conserving ammo. You don't want to be continuously firing them, and of course wasting everything on a small target. And that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to hop out of this and I'm going to spawn in the good old Dex fighter, give it to the space pirate, fly around and see how the turret handles it. And I think that'll be that for this video. So coming down to here, finding the Dex fighter, there it is. Now I'm going to spawn that in, right way up, there we go, that'll do. Just go in here and make it a bit better. I'm going to give this thing to the Space Pirates, going to select everything, Space Pirates, and now we are ready to go. So I'm going to come all the way up. In fact, I want to be at high speeds while doing this. The turrets only have a range of 600 meters, so it should be fairly safe to fly around here. And there we go, there's a few of the shots going along there. Like I said before, a small quick ship is going to be able to outmaneuver this quite well, but a few stray shots might actually do a nice bit of damage to this. And here we go, we're at 50 meters per second. We're about to come into range of the turret, now at 100 meters per second. What kind of shots are we going to get? I might be a bit high for the turret to be able to deal with me. I'm going to come down just a little bit. And there we go, we can see a few of the shots coming behind me. They have just pummeled my rear thrusters. I think they are still usable. I think one has been disabled. Yes, it has. Can I try and save this? No, I cannot. And just bounce off of the ground. So here we go, we're going to fly past it once again. There's a few more shots. It's bloody accurate for an assault cannon. And we just go and slam into the ground. I could not pull up in time. We wanted to take one last shot at me. I'm now spinning out of control. I don't think I have any parachutes on this. Now we're going to come down to the ground. And that's the end of the poor Dex fighter. So there we go. Despite the limitations of it moving up and down, it is a bloody scary turret to have in your world. And you could easily fit this onto your base, onto a large ship, if you did want to use it on one of your designs. Yes, that is pretty much it for what the Concussion Assault Battery has to offer. It's just a fancy little custom turret to use in your world. It does a nice lot of damage, should prove very useful when fighting medium targets. For large targets like the Albatross, as you saw there, it would take quite a few shots to actually bring that down. Unless, of course, you knew exactly where the weak points were, where the hydro tanks were to bring it down. But in general, this turret should serve you very well. So like I said, there should be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download it and play around with it yourself. Highly recommend you do. And I'll be back with another video sometime soon. Bye bye.